Welcome back to the Classic Soap Operas podcast. This is the Recap Archive. Today, we're heading back to January 16th, 1985, for an intense installment of Days of Our Lives. Let's dive in.
Right. We're diving into Days of Our Lives, just one episode from January 16th, 1985.
From quite a while back.
Yeah. Now, I get it. A soap opera might sound like, well, not the usual source for deep insights.
But they're really all about people, aren't they? What makes them tick?
Exactly. Their motivations, their secrets, how they interact. And this episode, it's like a concentrated dose of all that.
Yeah.
Interpersonal dynamics, hidden goals, how things start to unfold.
So our mission today essentially is to pull apart these storylines from this single episode, figure out what these characters are really after right now in this moment.
And see what patterns pop up, about how people operate. Okay, let's get into it. Let's unpack Kimberly Brady first.
Okay, Kimberly. So she meets with Shane Donovan, and it's intense right off the bat.
Yeah, he hands her this file, this dossier on someone named Leopold Bronski.
And her reaction. Wow, she says she's officially back in the oldest profession in the world.
Which is such a loaded phrase, isn't it? It immediately tells you this is dangerous, probably espionage or something like it. High stakes.
Definitely. It suggests, a certain world weariness, maybe, but also that she knows the rules of this game. Deception, risk, it's all part of it.
And Shane backs that up, doesn't he? He talks about some past mission, a great personal sacrifice that ruined him but saved lives.
Right. And he says he always survives. It highlights the personal cost, and Kimberly basically says, yeah, me too. She gets it.
It's a glimpse into that mindset, isn't it? The kind you need for that kind of life.
Sure. And then, bam, Don interrupts them. Totally clueless.
Yeah, just asking about his photography job for her. The contrast is huge.
And Kimberly just blurts it out to him. Mistress for an international spy. Like, okay.
It's almost funny, but it really shows that clash, doesn't it? Her normal life versus this secret, dangerous one. How do you even manage that?
It's tough. And we see similar tensions elsewhere, right? Like with Bo and the custody battle over Zachary.
Oh, yeah. Bo meets with Don, the lawyer, and apparently the hearing is next week already. Don seems surprised.
Very surprised. But then Bo immediately asks him to postpone it.
He says nobody's ready for this emotionally.
Yeah.
Mentions Megan being off the wall.
Which sounds plausible, maybe, but it feels like not the whole story.
Definitely not, because later he tells Hope the real reason.
Right. He actually wants Zachary to stay at Megan's house longer.
To make her think they still have a chance, that they'll get back together.
Exactly. It's pure manipulation. Using the kid, using her feelings. It's pretty cold. He's building this whole false reality for her.
And Hope sees right through it, or at least sees the danger. She's worried about Megan.
Yeah, she says Megan will do anything to get you back, which sounds pretty reasonable given their history.
But Bo just brushes it off. Megan Hathaway isn't going to hurt anybody.
Which feels, I don't know, naive. Or maybe deliberately blind because acknowledging the risk messes up his plan.
Could be. It makes you wonder how often we minimize risks when we really want something.
And speaking of Megan, her conversation with her father, who we assume is Stefano Demera, takes things to another level entirely.
Totally. Suddenly it's not just custody. It's about securing the final prism. And some tell it. From Leopold Bronski.
Yeah, the stakes just got much, much higher. This connects the personal drama to some larger, shadowy plot involving artifacts and, well, espionage again, probably.
And Stefano is, classic Stefano. He needs Megan to know every aspect of the plan.
He emphasizes control, and he tells her she's the only one he can really count on. What does that say about their family?
Trust is earned, or maybe just demanded. And loyalty seems tied to usefulness in his world.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
And him asking about her evening plans, hinting at a visitor.
Which connects directly to the scene with Kate and Jimmy Porterfield. It's all coordinated.
Stefano's sending Jimmy to see Megan in Salem. And Kate's worried about the danger.
But Stefano, he thrives on danger. He's not just sending Jimmy. He decides he's going back to Salem himself tonight.
Wow. He doesn't just manage risk. He seems to seek it out. It's central to who he is.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And his instructions to Kate about Marlena Brady in Caracas?
Yeah.
Very chilling.
Keep her away from his compound, but don't harm her. He knows she's smart, resourceful, a threat.
But he wants her neutralized cleanly, strategically. No unnecessary mess.
And the daily reports via telex, he needs constant updates, total oversight.
Then he tells Jimmy he's glad he changed his mind about visiting Megan. Says it'll be a real interesting visit.
Ooh, that sounds ominous. Like Jimmy's visit isn't just a social call. Not at all.
So yeah, amidst all this big plotting, you still had the messy relationship stuff.
Yeah.
Like Bo and Hope.
Right. Bo tells Hope he never really loved her before, that it was just family loyalty stuff. But now he loves her.
It feels convenient, doesn't it? Like he's rewriting history to make his current actions okay, especially lying to Megan.
Well, people do that, right? Reinterpret the past to fit the present. It's very human, even if it's self-serving.
Meanwhile, you've got Caroline fussing over Sean, who's sick, keeping him out of the family business stuff.
And mentioning Tom's appointment about a lawsuit, it just shows life keeps going. Families have their own dramas layered on top of everything else.
And Kimberly ends up at the Brady pub, looking for comfort, I guess. Runs into Don again.
Yeah, the ordinary world keeps intruding, even when you're mixed up in spy games.
Then Bo shows up at his parents'. Sean wants to apologize to Kimberly for hurting her. So there's that lingering guilt, that desire to fix things.
But then Bo and Kimberly have this really tense moment.
Yeah, she basically says she wants Stefano to pay for what happened to their brother. It's about revenge for her.
Which is such a different approach from Bo's calculated maneuvering. He's playing chess. She wants to flip the board over.
Good way to put it. And then Bo runs into Shane. More tension.
Definitely. Shane warns Bo about Megan, tells him she's trouble, echoing Hope's fears.
It's like the world is telling Bo his plan is dangerous, but he's not listening.
Not at all. Okay, so let's switch gears to the Marlena situation. This feels like classic intrigue building.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy Porterfield shows up at Marlena's house with someone else.
Gotta be Stefano, right?
Almost certainly. And they're using fake names, pretending to be from Bristol Township, looking for her.
Such a deliberate deception. And Diane Parker, who's there, tells them Marlena's out of town until next week.
And Jimmy pretends to be surprised. Claims Marlena said she'd be back tonight. They're laying it on thick.
Then they pretend to be cold. And Diane, being nice, invites them in for hot chocolate.
Which is exactly what they wanted, right?
Yeah.
Access, information.
And Diane mentions she has to leave soon, and Alice Horton is coming over to watch the kids.
And Jimmy reacts to Alice's name, just subtly. But it tells you she's significant to their plan somehow. Maybe an obstacle.
Could be. And then we see Jimmy later making a key.
Yep. There it is.
Yeah.
Their goal is clearly to get inside Marlena's house when no one's there. It's definitely not just about talking to her. So that raises all sorts of questions about what they're really after inside the house.
Exactly. Okay, and then we get that scene with Bo and Megan at her place with Zachary.
Which is just,
Oh.
wow, masterclass in manipulation from Bo. He's laying the affection on so thick.
And making her believe he really wants to be with her, wants their family back together.
He even uses information, casually mentions Diane had a male visitor, probably to make Megan feel a bit insecure or jealous.
It's subtle but effective, and Megan is just eating it up. She's ecstatic, thinking they're back to how they were in high school.
It's actually kind of sad to watch, knowing it's all a lie.
It really is. And then the switch flips. He asks her to call Zachary so they can leave, and he tells Diane the truth as he's leaving. Cold.
Just like that. Reveals the whole act, uses her, then drops her.
And right after Bo leaves, who shows up?
Stefano. Eager to see Megan.
Perfect timing for maximum dramatic irony. He has no idea about the emotional roller coaster Bo just put his daughter through. Shows even Stefano can't control everything.
So where does that leave everyone at the end of this episode? We see Kimberly go home.
Yeah, and she has this really nice, heartfelt talk with her parents, especially her dad, Sean. He regrets not listening better, wants to support her.
It's a moment of genuine connection, right in the middle of all the secrets and danger. Family still matters.
It does. Though Sean then suggests she considers Shane romantically, which she just brushes off. Maybe not the best time, Dad.
Probably not. Then Bo and Hope have another tense talk. She calls him out about arguing with Shane.
And she's clearly confused and maybe hurt by his mixed signals, his whole act. The deception is starting to crack things between them two.
Trust is fragile, isn't it?
Very. And finally, we see Megan talking to Stefano again. She's totally convinced she's won.
Yeah, she thinks she'll get Bo back now that Hope is out of the way, which implies Stefano's plan for Marlena might also be about removing Hope as competition.
That's an interesting angle. It could be. Stefano reassures her, feeds her confidence.
And Megan declares mission accomplished, believing she totally played Bo.
When actually she's the one who's been played. It's pure irony. And it sets up so much potential conflict down the line.
Okay, so pulling back, what do we got? We've got Kimberly on this dangerous spy mission. We've got Bo manipulating Megan in this custody fight, but really for other reasons.
We've got Stefano pulling strings everywhere with this prism thing, the Marlena situation in Caracas, sending Jimmy to Salem. It's a huge web.
And all tangled up in their personal lives, their relationships, their family histories, full of secrets, lies, conflicting desires.
For me, the aha moments are really seeing those basic human drives underneath all the drama, like the need for control that's Stefano, right?
Totally. And the desire for connection, even if it's manipulated like with Bo and Megan, or the need for revenge like Kimberly feels towards Stefano.
Yeah, and how those strong feelings lead people to do pretty extreme things, make complicated choices, build these elaborate deceptions.
It might be a soap opera, but you see echoes of real-life dynamics, the strategies people use, sometimes good, sometimes not so good, to navigate tricky situations.
Absolutely. So thinking about all these tangled threads, what happens next? Like immediately, what are the consequences going to be for these characters, tomorrow in Salem time?
Yeah, how does Bo's deception blow up? What are Stefano and Jimmy really going to do in Marlena's house? Does Kimberly's mission collide with Stefano's plans?
And what are the sort of ethical implications of all their choices? It definitely leaves you thinking, doesn't it? Maybe something for us to revisit down the line, see how it all plays out.
Thanks for listening to Classic Soap Operas Podcast and the Recap Archive. If you're enjoying the ride, hit subscribe, like, and stick with us as we untangle more moments from Salem's dramatic past.